Hello everyone, and let's talk about the Eternal Championship because I got a chance to test out the Eternal Championship on the PTS. It took me about 2 days to download it. It was about, 500 kilobytes a second, half a megabit per second. Seriously, BioWare, seriously, EA, invest in better servers or better download servers at least for your patches and things. Because it was about 20 gigabytes and it took me about 2 days to download it. You know, for comparison, I just downloaded Fallout 4 again on another PC and it took an hour and that was 24 gigabytes. That was going about 9 megabits a second, so please sort them servers out. It's quite annoying to have to download the PTS. It's really, really annoying. But we did get to do the Eternal Championship. I did all 10 rounds. I took my Vanguard along to the Eternal Championship. Some interesting insight. It may be the hardcore that you've been waiting for. Seriously, some of those fights are tough. I mean, particularly boss number 6 in particular seems to be the toughest boss there. Mostly because your companion's an idiot. What it does is it's these two ads and the main boss. Think of it as Zorn and Toth. Alright, okay, they have to be kept apart, firstly. And you've got to stay within melee range because they have like a shield. I think it's Califaris, one of the Dreadmasters that has the shield over him, and you can only DPS him in the shield. If you don't, he just reflects it back to you. So it's like, well, HK47 in the Revan fight is fairly similar. So these kinds of things are in it. But there's 3 of them. Okay, so there's 2 Zorn and Toth, Drauks if we're called. They're not Drauks in this, but we'll call them Zorn and Toth. They do have names, but I can't be bothered remembering those names. Zorn and Toth and their handler at the same time. Bear in mind there's only one of you and your companion, so you can see how tough it is. So they've got to be kept apart. You've got to kite them. There's also a little debuff thing that the dude does. I can't remember his name. You're looking at the deaths, my many attempts. I'll show you all my deaths, because I've got an hour and 40 minutes of footage. Most of them are my deaths, because of course I didn't know a lot of the tactics going into this first time, and I thought I'll read the scouting reports as well. So you've got to keep them apart, and you got to deal with the dude who puts a combo type debuff on you. And the best way I found to deal with that combo debuff was to let him attack my companion. When my companion's stacks got too much, I then had to taunt him, because of course I'm a Vanguard, okay, and I switched from Plasma to Tactics for this fight. The first 5 waves, easy, okay? Number 6, where, Jesus, that's the hardest one there. Number 7, tough as well, but there is a bug on the PTS. I think it's a bug anyway, where there's a dude that lays stun mines. I call it the tank and the asshole fight. So there is a tank and an asshole, basically. The asshole is the one who moves around and stuns you. The tank has an enrage mechanic, so you've got to kite the tank into these stun mines that are lying around, because the asshole drops the stun mines. So there's a lot, it's quite involved, this is. So kiting them before they hit enrage. If they hit enrage, it's 25k a hit. That's gonna kill you in a few hits. Okay, your healer companion, not gonna keep you up through it. Okay, so wave 7, pretty tough. Wave 6, very, very tough. So the only way I found was to let my companion get a few stacks in healer spec. Tried the companion in tank spec, it didn't work out. I tried to fight in tank spec. In wave 6, I put myself into tank spec. Didn't work it out either. Didn't work out. I had my tank gear with me on the PTS, so it just did not work out too well. So I tried it in several ways. Tried it with Plasma. Tactics was my best strategy, is burn down one of the ads, okay? Pick one, left or the right one, doesn't really matter. Pick the ad, okay? Burn it down, go full burst. Tactics, that's why I picked Tactics for this. Go full burst, get one of them down as quickly as possible, and then when you get one down, it's fairly easy, because all you have to do is taunt the boss when your companion's combo stacks get too high. But other than that, it's pretty good. Wave 7 is very melee unfriendly. Okay, because the asshole drops the stun mine right on top of you. So if you're not careful about how you kite it away, what happens is you get the stun mine. It lies on the ground, but then the red circle around it disappears, which I think is a bug. Because you're always forgetting it's there, and I'm always getting stunned by the stun mines, which doesn't help. But you do need to use them. What you need to do is kill the asshole first, then kill the tank. Okay, because what you do is when you kill the asshole, what happens is that's my name from the asshole in the tank. What happens is he drops his utility belt, pick up his utility belt, and then you can drop stun mines because you need the stun mines. As soon as the tank enrages, goes into a little soft enrage and just brutally destroys you. I mean, I died all defensive cooldowns up. Healer companion still died. Still died. And I'm 220, 224 geared. So, it will kill you. But we use the stun mine. If you stun the tank, you get a damage buff while the tank is stunned, and you kill the tank fairly fast. So I'm guessing killing the asshole is the way to go. The next wave is a Rancor, and there's a little stealther asshole, which my companion killed. Basically just kite the Rancor around, don't stand in his big attack, and manually move your companion out of the fire or the poison. Wave 8 was basically the end boss on McKeb. Well, sorry, Wave 9, was the end boss of McKeb storyline. Remember, you fought the Isotope 5 droid at the end of the McKeb storyline back in Rise of the Hutt Cartel. It's basically the same thing. It just does a big laser attack. Make sure it's not facing your companion, or it can one-shot your companion if they're not sort of decent enough health. So again, you gotta have positional awareness with a lot of these bosses is a thing. The final boss is Sword Squadron meets Kefis, if you think about it. It's similar to Sword Squadron from TOS, and it has a sort of Kefis from the EC. Kefis, EC, I think Eternal Championship, Explosive Conflict, that one. It has Kefis and a bit of Sword Squadron into it. It's quite a test as a melee. I mean, I did not stop moving. I downed it first time. It's not the hardest boss there. 6 and 7 are tough. Okay, I'm gonna show you all my deaths, right? This is when I was figuring out the tactics. So I just went in blind, obviously. It's on the PTS, so it's subject to change after all. But the Eternal Championship is quite a nice test. It is quite it is the difficulty that you've been waiting for. Now, the rewards for the Eternal Championship are as follows. You do get the tokens, Eternal Championship tokens, which can be exchanged for either 208 gear. I wouldn't bother. Now, the 208 gear you exchange these tokens for is better than the Mark IV stuff for the data crystals, okay? They can also be exchanged, I think it's 2 per piece of gear. They can also be exchanged for, I think it's 4 per piece of gear for the 216. Now, this 216 gear is 216 Mark I gear without the set bonus in it, okay? Pretty good. It's pretty bloody good. I mean, it makes ultimate comms or radiant data crystals obsolete now if this goes ahead. There's also a vendor that sells legacy bound gear. I don't know if it's the final model or not, but it's pretty ugly looking, the legacy bound gear. It's just like a reputation type vendor. I don't know if they'll add more to it, but right now you can get 216 Mark I gear from the vendor. Okay, and that's pretty decent gear. These commendation tokens, the Eternal Championship tokens, they are similar to the Ziost ones in that they're legacy bound. So for gearing up alts, it's going to be pretty good from that point of view. I don't know if the gear is moddable or not. It is purple. I haven't checked. I didn't buy any of it. But you do get, I think you get about 6 for doing a run of all 10 waves if you do the weekly as well. I think the mobs, the bosses in there have a chance to drop. Some of them, they have a chance to drop. They drop to the earlier boss dropped blue 204 gear. which is not too bad, really. Later bosses, I think have a chance to drop 204. I think there's a chance to drop a mount, and there's a chance to drop. I think they have a chance to drop 208, and I don't know if they have a chance to drop 216 as well. But most of them just dropped credits. One of them dropped exotic isotope stabilizer, that blue mat that you have tons of. You can also buy the blue crafting material if you don't need any gear, but for alt gearing, it's going to be the new Ziost essentially, because it's going to be better certainly than the commendation gear. Now this does render hard mode flashpoints pretty much. They're obsolete anyway, but they're really obsolete now. Story mode ops are still useful because you don't get the set bonus, which makes sense. You still get 216 armoring, but you get the same stats as you would get from a Mark 1 piece minus the set bonus. So they're pretty decent. That's pretty decent. I don't think you get relics or implants though. I think you're still going to have to buy them from the commendation vendor. Currently it is only armor pieces. So again, I'm okay with this. I think it's a good method of gearing your alt. Certainly my main character didn't need any, my Vanguard didn't need any of that, but it's good for alt gearing. It makes the process a little bit quicker. Now you have to have done Knights of the Fallen Empire as that alt, though that is the downside to it, is you have to get them. Well, I mean, I guess you could buy the gear on your main and send it to your alt, I guess, if it's moddable, so you can just put it in a legacy shell. I assume it is. I didn't buy any gear. I will go in and try it out. But I did finish it. I finished it in about an hour and 40 minutes of video footage I have. So it should be pretty good. I will look at guides for each boss. Wait until the servers go live because PTS subject to change, basically. Tomorrow there could be a new PTS build with different tactics or tweaked tactics. I do think number 6 has to be tweaked a little bit, and number 7, I hope it's a bug, really, because you just get stunned by invisible stun mines, and it isn't very good at the moment. So overall, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. It's not so much a DPS check, it's not so much a gear check, although having gear does help, certainly, but it's more of a mechanics and awareness thing. That's what it's going to be a test of. The first 5 waves, pretty easy. You can just breeze through them all fairly quickly. So anyway, that is all for this video. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.